Good morning and welcome to MagHub Monday. I'm your host Nick, and this morning we are going to be talking about orders. So this is the third part in a four-part series about how to improve and create better orders to show pricing and get approvals from your customers. Today we're going to be talking about billing. So 3 different ways where you can set up prepay billing and configure the billing options inside the order when you send it to your customer. Now, I'll preface this by saying there may be some approvals that are required by your admin before you kind of jump into this, but ultimately, as a rep, you should have a few different options on how your customers pay you. The first is a prepay discount. Okay, we're going to talk about that and what it means. Number 2 is a prepay line item. How often have you wanted to capture the first ad's payment up front and maybe a credit card along with it, or an ACH for direct deposit? Finally, we're going to talk about installments for that customer who may not want to pay everything up front or wants to spread all their payments evenly over the course of the next 12 months. So let's go ahead and get into the video. We'll take a look at these 3 options. Okay, everybody, after you've logged into your system, you're going to go ahead and create a brand new order. So you can follow along with me, and I'll show you all the steps that we can take to hit those 3 items that we talked about. All right, the first place I'll go to create an order is the plus button up at the top. Click Add Order. And if you've watched the first couple of videos in the series, you probably already know how to do this, but we'll do it anyways. So I choose my customer, and it's going to automatically select information about that customer. Now, as you can see here, I'm not the rep, so it's going to ask me to choose who the rep is. I'm going to jump over actually to a customer that I know I'm the rep for, and so we have a couple options here. One, I want to call out the billing contact in this page because this is the person that's going to be receiving all of your invoices and payment requests. So if you choose the person from this list, you're basically saying this person is working within the advertiser's company. Now, if you assign an agency to this order, it's going to allow you to choose and pull in the agency contact that you're going to be working with. So again, just make sure that this billing contact, if you know it, is set up. It can be changed later, so it's not a huge deal if you don't know it, but of course this does make things a little streamlined on the back end. Okay, jumping in through a couple hoops here. The first thing that we need to do is we need to add a couple of line items in here. All right, so I'm going to create a couple print ads, we'll create some digital ads, and then we'll rock and roll. So I'll choose my August, September, October, ad size, full page. Okay, great. This is all pretty straightforward. Nothing really new here. Maybe we'll do some slot sales. Somebody's buying a newsletter and they're buying the MagHub Express, and it's a bottom banner, and they want to go with this date and this date and this date and this date. Okay, maybe this date and this date. Okay, sure. All good. So I've added a couple of line items here. Now you can add additional items, but let's just get to the point, which is billing. So when I hit save and continue, the next step, as you can see here in the little order wizard, is billing and notes. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a prepaid order. The prepaid discount on this order is an option that your team can set up so that if an advertiser pays this before the pre-press date, there are a couple of rules on the back end on the date for the issue. They might get a 2.5% off, or a 5% off, or 10%, or you can configure what these prepaid discounts look like, and then you can also configure how it applies that money downstream. There is a help center video on this, so I'm not going to get into it today. This is really more for the finance folks anyways on how this is applied, but ultimately the rep may be able to choose, hey, I'd like to apply a 2.5% prepaid discount if the customer pays before a certain date. Okay, so that's one option, right? That will apply to the entire order. Now, if we go back to the products, let me save this and then hop back over to the products. So if I hop back over to the products, the first way that you can actually change if something is going to be paid up front or not is by selecting the item that you want to prepay. So in this case, I just want to have the customer be prompted when they approve the order online to put in a payment method so they'll prepay for this item. On any advertising sale, the way that you do this is you select the item that you're going to be billing. So let's just say the first of each of these runs. Then you go to the actions and you choose require prepay for selected. Say yes. And then these, as you can see, will be highlighted in yellow so you know which ones are prepay. So that's how you do it for advertising. Same way works if you're selling a service, but on services you can actually set up individual services that are always prepay or always not prepay. So if I'm choosing an advertising service and it's, exhibit booth, right? There's an option in the service item to require a prepay, and this is set at a service level, so it can be set as a default, or you can allow the reps to change it, so when they save the service, it will show up here as a prepay item. Just another option. Again, this would work too if I selected the item and went to the bulk actions to change that over to prepay. But in the service item, you can actually do it when you add the item to the page. Okay, so that's how you mark an individual item as prepay. When the customer goes to approve this online, they'll be presented with a credit card form, and it'll just kind of process as normal, but it'll say, hey, put in your credit card to pay for these 2 items that are prepay. Okay. If you went through the MagHub approval process, so if you signed up with us and you went through the digital approval process, we do this for new customers. There are certain services that we require prepay for, and it prompts the customer to sign off and put their credit card in. Okay, so we use this function all the time. Finally, when I'm looking at the information here, one of the things that I might want to do, this is the third in our list, is create installments. Now, if I have any items listed as an installment or listed as prepaid, I cannot allow installments. So this will actually stop you from managing installments, but here's what I'll do. I'll go back to the products and I'll select all of these and I'll change the prepay requirement to no, and that way we'll be able to require prepay, no, hit save, and then we'll be good to go. So I hit save and continue, and then in the option at the very bottom on my billing and notes tab, I can choose to set up monthly or quarterly installments, which will spread the dollars over the intervals and the set amount of time that I select. So when I say set up installments, monthly or quarterly, when do I want these to start? Maybe I want it to start August 1st, so I say I want these to go for 6 months, and I'll hit create. This will automatically create a schedule for me and generate invoices for my team so that they can send these invoices out to my customer on my behalf, right? And so, of course, you can manipulate this a little bit in front load or back load, depending on how the customer's payment schedule, like they've requested. Okay, so just as an option, when I hit save and continue, as long as the template shows this item in here, you should be able to see it by going down to the bottom, and it says, hey, here's our payment schedule, and you can present that to the customer, they sign off, and then the invoices are automatically generated so that your team can send them out and you can collect your money. Okay, those are the 3 ways that you can set up some prepay options inside of the order form. I hope that was helpful for you. Let us know if you have any questions, and have a great week.